Well, we're finally here talking about the downfall and disrespect of this franchise. And by the way, there's no excuse why I haven't made a video. I was just very lazy, and then I started watching Lord of the Rings, the trilogy. Very good movies, Chef's Kiss. But no, I haven't made this video because I just got lazy. Yes, I will finish talking about all the Superman franchise movies. And talk about the brand new Superman. Spoiler, I loved it. But yeah, so yeah, that's why there hasn't been a video for like a month because I've been lazy. So let's finally talk about Superman 3, the movie Richard Pryor ruined. I'll get to that later. But where do I even start? Because the behind the scenes drama, there was nothing. I know, surprising. But they kept Richard Lester. And boy, what a mistake that was. I can tell you that because you know how Thor Love and Thunder people hate because it's too goofy, too comedic? That is the same crucial problem with Superman 3. The producers, I guess, were too confident with Richard Lester and let him off the leash, and he pissed and shit on this film. So I really never talked about the box office of Christopher Reeve's Superman films, but the first one was a huge hit, made over $300 million, so that's huge for the 70s. The second film made less, but still a huge success with over $200 million. Then we get to Superman 3, and you saw the audience was like, fuck this. And this is true for a Superman movie, by the way. Think about this. It only made $80 million. A huge downhill slide. And you know what? It makes sense because this movie is the least watchable. Yes, Christopher Reeves. He's amazing, as always. But you know what ruins this film? Yep, you guessed it, Richard Pryor. I know people back then loved Richard Pryor, but he did not need to be in a Superman movie, playing a stupid, goofy, annoying character that is sadly gets more screen time than Superman. Shit, for you guys to stay sane and me sane, I'm just going to talk about it and get it over with. Because, by the way, recording this, like I said, I watched this movie a month ago, and now I'm finally reading the script because, I was lazy. So I'm not going to lie. It started off bad, but not too bad. It starts with Richard Pryor. Yes, I'm going to say Richard Pryor, not the character, because sadly this movie isn't a Superman movie. It's the Richard Pryor movie. And I know from everyone that knew Richard, he was a cool dude. But to be honest, I never found him funny. I always thought his yelling humor was really annoying. I'm going to say that so the 40-year-old boomer fans can relax. So it starts with Richard Pryor's character being a loser. I'm not joking. And this is where he goes to the unemployment place. Somewhere I really need to go because I have no job. America. Damn. So he's begging for a job, and the front desk lady won't because he gets fired too much. Is that allowed? I don't know. Seems pretty messed up. So then we get to why Richard Pryor... No, not Richard Pryor. You're on break right now. Why Richard Lester sucks as a director. He is way too comedic because the first 5 minutes tells you, it warns you what a fucking disaster this film's going to be. As we go to Metropolis, and it becomes the Three Stooges. The Three Stooges. Because everyone in Metropolis loses their minds. Because it all starts with this hot blonde woman walking down the sidewalk. And she's so hot that this creep runs into a pole, falls down, then a roller skater trips over him, crashes into the hot dog stand. The stand rolls and crashes into a telephone booth. And of course, they all fall over. Somehow it gets worse and more stupid. Then the man on the floor from the fall has toy penguins, a bunch of them, and they somehow get set on fire. Then the blind guy, yes, there's a blind guy, he grabs the construction machine because he can't see, makes yellow lines everywhere. He pushes someone into a manhole, probably killing him. I don't know how the guy survives. Then there's Clark Kent, who gets the newspaper. For some reason, ain't really reacting to the strange chaos that's going on until, of course, there's a bank robbery. And the robber runs out and makes a car crash into a fire hydrant. So, of course, somehow the water overfills the guy's car with him in it, and finally Clark sees what's going on and suits up as Superman. He saves the guy from the car, but totally ignores the robber. Literally, he gets away and flies off. So thanks, Superman. I really don't understand why the Daily Planet had any scenes, because they're not even important to this story. Literally 2 scenes. That's it. They only have 2 scenes. So Clark Kent wants to write a story about his town at Smallville. Why? Why? And why would Perry White want this in the newspaper? Who cares about Smallville? But at this point, Perry must be desperate and agrees. So Clark and Jimmy drive to his hometown on a bus. And of course, when Clark gets to Smallville, there's a huge fire at this chemical building. And Clark and Jimmy run out. Jimmy's like, Perry wants pictures or I'm fired. Who's this? J.J. Jameson from Spider-Man? So he runs off to get a good shot of the fired building. Clark couldn't give a damn. He's like, I gotta stop this fire. So he suits up as Superman in a car without a person realizing there was someone in his car. I get it, he has super speed, but he really wasn't that fast when on his suit, but whatever. So then Superman saves everyone that's trapped on top of this building by breaking the metal piece and has people go down it like a slide. And I was thinking, this building is on fire. That piece attached to the building, wouldn't that burn the survivors going down? Just a thought I had. Then we get to many more stupid scenes of this movie. Right, guys? This is the only chemist there because this chemist will not leave because of the chemical's high levels. It's like, dude, just leave before you literally explode. So instead of Superman saving him, he's bring him away from the fire. He's like, stay here. It's cool. Watch the chemicals. I'll put out the fire. So instead of just using his cool breath to take out the fire, they want to do something cool, and it is kind of cool. He goes to this pond, uses his cool breath to freeze it, picks up the giant ice, and drops it onto the chemical fire building, and it takes out the fire. Is a cool scene, yeah, but practically makes no sense. But before he does that, he has to save Jimmy. And Dum Dum was on top of this metal thing. It breaks down, falls down, breaking his leg, and trapped by the flames. Superman saves him. But what gets me with Richard Donner's Superman, amazing films, and even with Richard Lester's Superman 2, Superman always wants to help because he's nice and he's kind. But with Superman 3, when he saves people, he gets so annoyed. It's like the writers had no idea how to write this character anymore because you had 2 good films showing how he's supposed to act. Anyway, Jimmy goes back to Metropolis and gets yelled at by Perry White. The last time we ever see Perry White, and the last time we see the Daily Planet. I can't confirm that because I've never watched Superman 4 yet, but I will soon. So Clark goes back to his high school reunion, talking to his older teacher, and soon as he sees Lana Lane, he's like, bitch, out of my way. I gotta get to my girl, because he walks past his teacher to talk to Lana. I don't blame him. Whoever plays Lana, she's gorgeous as hell. So Clark and Lana catch up. Then motherfucking Brad, remember him from the first film? No? Well, he was the douchebag football player that knocked all the helmets down on the first film. That's Brad. They brought him back for some reason. And he's one of those adults that can't move on from when he was popular in school because he's such a goddamn loser. And he harasses Lana, basically telling her to get back together. Just very creepy. And Clark, being a gentleman, tries shaking his hand. He wants to be civil, but Brad goes away. Thank God, because Brad's a creepy motherfucker. Then let's go back to the man that really ruined this film, Richard Pryor. He's at his new job, and he somehow got, with no explanation, by the way, at this financial place. And, of course, no one knows how to use computers. Then why the fuck did you hire them? But the computer whiz is Richard Pryor's character. And the employer asked, how did he do this programming? It's amazing. It's like, why are you so amazed? When you hire these people for their computer skills, why are you so shocked? So, of course, when the employer, Richard Pryor's character, just basically screams words, it's like, dude, chill out. Chill. So since Richard Pryor's character is a computer genius, apparently, he hacks into his job system and puts money into his paycheck. More money. And if he's such a genius, you would think he would add a little bit at a time. No, we found out later he stole $85,000 from them. He's really a genius, my ass. Then we meet our villain of the movie, Lex Luthor. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's the ripoff of Luthor. Since Gene Hackman wouldn't return, good for him. They have this character who is a corrupt businessman, just like Lex Luthor. Then we meet Eve Tessmacher's ripoff, this blonde girl from the beginning. And god damn it, Richard Leister knew what he was doing because he had this blonde woman with such revealing outfits. I'm not complaining. That's because I'm a pervert. But yeah, it's pretty offensive for the female watchers, especially since with Eve, she was an actual character with development. This ripoff is just to stare at. And one of the employers tells the businessman about Richard Pryor's character stealing money from the business. So again, if he was such a genius, you would think he would act normal and not spend the money on expensive things. Nope, he pulled up at his job with a Porsche. Yup, really a genius. Then we go back to Clark and Lana, and they're at the bowling alley with her kid named Ricky, and Ricky is terrible at bowling. So Brad, the douche, is like, I'm going to teach him how to play bowling by saying how terrible he is. Brad, your tailies are growing, my dude, for how much of a dick you are. God damn. Be nice to him, not a douche. So Clark, being much nicer, is like, hey, let him play, he'll get better. So Clark, cheating again with when Ricky bowls, he uses his cool breath to push the bowling ball to the pins, fucking shattering the pins. It's like, nice, Clark. Now they think Ricky is a freak because the bowling pins exploded. So back to Richard Pryor's character, he gets called up to the businessman's office. And yeah, the businessman tells Richard Pryor what's going to happen to him, what he's got to do, or he'll call the cops on Richard Pryor. So for this movie, Stupid Logic, so he wants Richard Pryor to hack this satellite in space, and he'll somehow shoot down a laser that'll create extreme weather to destroy Colombia because he's mad that they sell good coffee beans there. Again, what the actual fuck is this film? I guess they somehow guessed 30 years later because the idiotic Republicans claimed Democrats controlled the weather. I know, we live in such a stupid country. So Richard Pryor's character agrees because he doesn't want to go to jail. And if he declines, he will. So back to Clark, him and Lana have a picnic with also the son. Again, damn girl, your mama can't take care of him. The grandma can't take care of him. So you and Clark can go on a proper date. Oh, poor Clark. So again, showing parenting of the 80s. They sucked at parenting because she lets Ricky run away without any care. It's like, watch him. Make sure he's safe. Nah, he'll be fine. And the dum-dum trips and falls on a rock. There's literal blood on the rock. The dude has brain damage. So Clark hears the dog barking. By the way, the dog is awesome. What a good boy. Anyway, Clark flies off as Superman, saves Ricky by stopping the combine harvester. Again, hey, driver, you didn't see him? All right, it is the Midwest, so probably drunk. So Superman brings Ricky back to Lana, flies off, then conveniently, Clark is under this thing grabbing the dog. So people wouldn't know he's Superman. So then, for some reason, again, never explained, the businessman sends Richard Pryor's character to Smallville. Richard Pryor's character gets there, and he gets to the building at night where Shocker Brad works there, and for some reason, I don't understand, Richard Pryor uses this accent while talking to Brad. Why? You're a stranger. He doesn't know you. Why do you have to have an accent? Why change your voice? But Brad won't let him in until Richard shows him the alcohol. God damn it, Brad. Your tail is growing. You idiot. So Richard gets Brad drunk, where he passes out. Then Richard also being drunk. Why would he do that? Is he goes to the server room, but does stupid shit because he's drunk. There's these stupid gags where he hacks the system. For some odd reason, this makes no sense because really one server controls the entire town. Okay, that's stupid. And he starts stupid chaos like a man at ATM getting a lot of money. Then there's a wife opening up her paycheck, and it's triple the money. And then her husband smashes a grapefruit in her face. Why was that there? So then with the server, he breaks the green light and red light on the streets where even the colors start fighting. It's so strange, but it's not funny. It's just stupid. It's just frustratingly stupid. So the stupidity worked because with the satellite, it causes tornadoes at Columbia. Again, how stupid can this film get? God damn it. So Superman arrives, stopping the extreme weather, and it's told by Richard Pryor, who wasn't there, so how the hell did he know? So this pisses off the businessman with Richard Pryor's character's big mouth talking about kryptonite. And the businessman orders Richard Pryor to somehow create kryptonite from a goddamn computer. Again, what is this film? I get it's the 1980s. They thought computers were magical, but it's not. You go on YouTube, you go on goddamn Twitter for goddamn fights with racists. The computers are magical. So Superman returns back to Smallville because Ricky invited him to his birthday. And, Superman being nice, he can't deny him. So he agrees, like I said, because he's nice. But apparently Lana couldn't shut her mouth because they turned Ricky's birthday party to a town event. The mayor gives Superman the key to the town. Then Richard Pryor's character again had to ruin the scene because he drives a military Humvee. Where did he get that at? Wearing a general outfit, holding a suitcase, and he yells and rambles. Another pointless scene, and Richard Pryor gives Superman the kryptonite. But you know how kryptonite kills Superman? Nah, not this time. It turns him evil. What? Not really even evil. It just turns him annoying because, well, there's this really creepy scene that does not age well at all. It's very creepy. Where Superman hits on Lana. It's some creepy shit, dude. But Lana tells him to get the fuck out. Thank goodness, it was uncomfortable. So since he was too late helping someone, he gets angry at the world, where he makes the Leaning Tower of Pisa straight. Oh, God, how evil. And next he blows out the fire at the Olympics. Again, wow, how evil. Again, really, this is what you think evil Superman? You really think that's evil Superman? Well, Zack Snyder was like, hold my beer, bitch. Because, so next, the businessman sends Rip-Off Eve to the Statue of Liberty to get Superman's attention, and it does. She's like, hey, you get this. Pooh say, if you do it, I'm not joking, this is real. If you do an oil spill, I'm not joking, this is a real scene. So Superman does that, and returns and he gets some. Again, what is this film? Hey, Superman, what happened to Lois, your love of your life? Lois who? So then the next day, Superman is at a bar drinking. And he's just being a dick, breaking whiskey bottles with a peanut. Then people are seeing how he's acting, pisses him off, and he runs off like a bitch. Then he gets to the dump, and we get this really weird scene where Clark Kent and evil Superman fight, but mentally it gets brutal with evil Superman putting Clark in a trash crusher. Then Clark ends by killing him. What? Again, what? I get it, it's a mental battle. It's a hallucination, but still, Superman, you killed your evil personality. Whatever, good Superman is back. Yay. And he goes back and fixes everything. His evil personality started. So then the businessman's sister calls Superman. How did you have his number? Whatever, it's with this TV, and she tells him the location, where to find them. Why would you do that? He's the most powerful being. Who's good? Why would you tell him your location? Because when Superman gets there, the businessman shoots off missiles at him by playing a video game. I'm not joking. This movie is a fucking joke. So Superman stopped the missiles and flies into the lair, where somehow without explanation, the businessman made kryptonite correctly. It hurts Superman. Again, the laziness of this film is unreal. So Richard Pryor's character finally has guilt. What took so long? Helps Superman by breaking the kryptonite machine. Then the businessman threatens to destroy Pryor's machine he built. Richard freaks out, but the machine's offended, I guess, because it sucks the businessman's sister into the machine. And for this movie being such shit, and again, like I said, for this movie being so shitty, it turns the sister into this machine, this cyborg, and it's surprisingly terrifying. And here's behind the scenes drama. It's not really drama, but originally, before Richard Pryor, because why they got Richard Pryor was because he was on a talk show, and he was like, how much he loved the first two original Superman. I agree, they're fantastic. But then the producers were like, he likes Superman, let's put him in there. Why? Just why? But the original plan before Richard Pryor was Brainiac. They're about to actually do Brainiac, a villain we've never seen in live action still. But how cool would have that been than a stupid hacker and a rip-off Lex Luthor? We could have gotten Brainiac. Yeah, it would have been great. I don't know. But it would have been better than what this version is. So yeah, there was supposed to be Brainiac, then Richard Pryor was in the movie and they changed the whole script. But I'm pretty sure that Cyborg is unofficially, technically, our first and only Brainiac in live action. Alright, back to the movie. And again, it's actually a cool and scary moment from this movie, but Superman defeats her and the businessman, and then it ends with Superman once again smiling in space. Not this time, nah. That's Superman 3, a fucking embarrassment of a film. It's horrible. But again, the best part was Christopher Reeves. Such a talented actor, but other than that, it's frustrating how bad this movie is, and it's because of how stupid the writing is. And again, Richard Pryor, no offense to him, but he ruined this film with his terrible jokes and just being annoying. I'm going to tell you. And why there was such a long pause was because I just got to the whole Brainiac fun fact. But again, it's a fucking shame that they didn't do Brainiac. Again, would have been great. I don't know. It was the 1980s, but it would have been better than, again, like I said, the version we got. The version we got is we got this hacker who's so annoying. We got this rip-off Lex Luthor and rip-off Eve. It's like, it's an embarrassment. Like, I cannot believe they made this movie and released it to the public. It's embarrassing. Again, is it the worst movie I've ever seen? No. That's recently, actually, not Superman 3 with Richard Pryor. It is Ice Cube's War of the Worlds on Amazon. Holy shit, that movie. Talking about being an embarrassment. I might make a video about that movie, because, I have a lot of things to say about that movie. But again, it's a shame, because we could have gotten Brainiac. But anyway, one day we'll get Brainiac. Fun fact, I might say this on when I talk about Superman 2025, a much better movie, really good movie. I might wait to say this fact on that video, but forget, I'll say it. James Gunn was going to do Brainiac as the villain too, but then he cut it. Again, doesn't matter because James Gunn's Superman is actually amazing, so it doesn't really matter what he changed because, again, yeah, that's... But now we go back to Superman 3. Yeah, that's Superman 3, an awful film. Yeah. There's really nothing else for me to say about Superman 3. It's awful. It's not a fun movie to watch. It's not one of those so bad it's good. It's just bad and embarrassing. It was very rough watch. This movie is only 2 hours and it felt like 4 hours. It felt like watching the Snyder Cut, but at least the Snyder Cut was much better. But yeah, that's Superman 3. Just an embarrassment for cinema. And yes, I will be talking about Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. For a movie I've seen a long time ago, I actually liked it. Will I like it when I rewatch it? I don't know. Will I talk about Superman Returns? Probably not, because that movie is somehow worse than Superman 3. Oh my god. Don't even get me started on Superman Returns. That movie is... that movie feels like 24 hours. Anyway, that's Superman 3. If you like this video, give it a like, share, subscribe because it's nice. Don't be a dick. Follow me on socials. I'm mostly on Bluesky and Instagram. See you guys later. Peace.